All right, folks, who we got out there? Let's see. Paramount. All right, we got people. Looks like we have some folks out there. So if you guys can hear me, I actually had already set everything up on one, and then it wouldn't let me actually go live when I had it scheduled to go live at 5 p.m. So it is what it is. I had to redo everything. YouTube hates me. All right, so I'm here in Jordan. What's going on, John? How you doing, buddy? Summer's actually back. She's running a medical class today. So that's what's going on right now. That is actually happening at this moment. They're probably finishing up doing that. And I am out doing some work abroad, but I wanted to, so I haven't been able to make any videos. So I wanted to reach back and just do a live event or something like that to stay in touch. And so here we are. These are always kind of weird. I want to start again where we can start doing some call-in stuff. I have that set up at our little studio at home. We got it set up to do that. So as soon as I get back, we'll start doing that. Because sitting here talking to a blinking light when we're live, especially, is a little bit silly sometimes. But I wanted to talk about, number one, if you guys have any questions, feel free to throw them in there. And while we have, make sure those 4 or 5 folks that we have here right now, make sure you hit the like button. Feel free to comment. John, I appreciate that. Throw up any questions you have. But I also wanted to talk about, and while, you know, none of these live events, we're not a huge channel, are going to get, hey, what's going on, Willie? None of these live events are going to get huge amounts of people on there at the time of, but obviously the impacts that these have going forward, I think, are really what these are about. So these are going to sit on YouTube, and especially some of the topics I want to discuss on this one, if we don't get shut down or it doesn't get removed, that's the impact that I want to have, because people can come back and all of these YouTube, even the giveaways that are, you know, kind of finite, that you would think really wouldn't, you know, people go back and we have 300-400 views post the live event. So that's what that's all about. So anyways, Willie, John, thanks for coming. A couple of things I want to talk about. Well, first of all, I want to open up the floor. Is there any questions that you guys have about any training events, about any gear, firearms, anything that, any of the videos that we've discussed in the past, anything that you guys want clarity on or just have questions on in general? Give you guys a couple of seconds to do that. All right, cool. No questions. Everybody is super well informed. All right, so what I want to talk about specifically is what's going on right now with all these COVID mandates. You know, it's crazy to watch what's happening in our country. I'm fully vaccinated. Oh, nice. Willie got a Glock 19, Gen 5. Nothing wrong with that. Always great guns. I own several Glocks. As many of you know, I'm not personally, they're not my favorite gun to shoot, but they're awesome guns. Great guns, super reliable, nothing wrong with that at all. Also a big fan of the M&P line, but we have several Glock 19s, both as training guns on my personal guns and Glock 19 and 17s. Glocks in general, just great. They really are the AK-47 of handguns. All right, so again, what I want to talk a little bit about that's kind of been on my mind is these COVID-19 vaccine mandates, right? So first of all, I want to state that I am vaccinated. And again, what this always goes back to is the fact that vaccines, in my opinion, are always a personal choice. I think especially this one. I do find it I don't know about you guys, but do you guys find out how odd it is how they're pushing this vaccine in a way that I don't know. The efforts. Look, I obviously COVID-19 is very deadly. It's a very serious disease, but I also say the way that it's being pushed on us definitely, I know, automatically makes me suspicious. I'm sure some of you feel the same way, but I also want to talk about, more importantly, how we got here, how we got to a point to where we can even have. What's up, man? Dan, what's happening, buddy? I kept missing your windows for a phone call, and I apologize for that. I want to touch base with you, Dan. We'll link up sometime. But anyways, I want to talk about where we got to this point, where we are here in the United States, the home of the brave, the land of the free, and it's supposed to be the country of independence, right? And now here we are being forced to take a certain medicine and this vaccine in general. And there's a lot of people out there that are taking this that obviously don't want to. You know, they're being coerced by, through, and with the government to take this in many different areas, right? Whether you're a government personnel, whether you're in the military, whether you are now even obviously a lot of the job mandates, they're pushing it through OSHA at the moment. Hopefully that's not going to last very long. I hope that will not be held up in court. I don't think it will. But regardless, we're at a point to where we are being coerced to do something that I think a lot of people don't want to do. And definitely automatically, because we are, as Americans, we definitely are much more defiant. The moment that you start pushing on us, we definitely, you know, again, you just become suspicious of what's going on, and we start wanting to push back. And that's exactly what's happening here. And I want to talk about how we got to this point. So first of all, the reason that we're at this point, and the reason that many people are being coerced to do this, is because we've ceded so much control over to the government. Right now, folks, whether you're going to college, whether you're going to, your kids are in certain schools and things like that, everything that's going on with that is one of those reasons because we've handed education over to the government, either directly or indirectly. And you know, ultimately, this comes down, for me, I really what can sum up this entire discussion in my mind is that the government doesn't do anything well, right? And every time they get their hands into something, it's not going to be done as efficiently. It's going to cost, the cost is going to go up. And every time that there's a crisis, you know, I'm sure there was a point in time where education wasn't all that great in America, or there was an issue there, and somebody said, you know what, the government's got to step in and regulate education. And look where we are as a nation. All right, we are nowhere near the top. I'm sure somebody can throw up some numbers where we are as far as, especially the STEMs, you know, math, science, reading, writing. I mean, since government has gotten into the public schools, or they became the public schools, right? Education has been taken over by public schools, and the government itself has not gotten better. And I don't think it will get better. Just like anytime that here we have, whether it's government, healthcare, or anything else, anytime the government gets involved in something, it's not going to get better. But the problem with that is that at the time it seems like a good idea. And what you're doing is you're giving up a ton of, you're giving up freedom left and right. You know, I think even when we're talking about schools and education, it goes back much further. I think there's an intent. Some of the things that have been done with intent when it comes to reliance on schools. You know, you have parents that, because of lifestyle, because of different situations, or just because of choice, if it is a two-family home, parent home, they are relying on those government schools to take care of their kids while they're at work. And again, that's another area of dependence that we have on the government. Not to mention, I also think that there's been an intentional breakdown of the two-parent home. I think there is actual concerted effort, and we see it all throughout the United States. And again, maybe it's more indirectly, but again, there's definitely, the result is that we have a lot less two-parent homes, without a doubt. So those are things that we need to think about. And every time that there's not two parents in that home, you're becoming more and more dependent on the government. And when we are dependent on the government, now they're able to coerce us to do things that we don't want to do, because they can hold back that, whether it's funding, whether it's now, I'm sure at some point, I mean, OSHA was definitely, I think OSHA was one of those things that was needed, right? So we needed people to jump into where we had industries that weren't safe, or there was a couple of catastrophes or a crisis, because the government's not going to let a crisis go to waste. And they jump in there and we create OSHA and we're like, oh, everything's going to be safe. Here we are. I don't know how long OSHA's been around, but now here we are, buying with and through OSHA. They're now pushing these mandates on any company that has over 100 people. So again, it's just one of those things that we need to be much more aware of when it comes to what we give up to government, because they're offering us something at the time that seems good. But it comes down to it, folks. I don't believe for a second that there's anything that the government does that the private sector can't do better, more efficiently. Think about this. The fact that there was at a time when airliners were independent, and while I don't know how long the FAA is, but they definitely weren't as intrusive as they were at one time. Imagine if we had a choice of private airliners that weren't so controlled by the government, and there could be a private airline right now said, hey, look, we don't believe in this mandate. We want to help you out. So, if you want to come fly with us, you don't have to have a vaccine. And that could have been an option. But there again, once you have a federal agency involved, they can do whatever they want, and they're going to continue to coerce us. So, it is what it is. Dan, OSHA, like so many things, start with good intentions and special interests kicks in, power corrupts. Absolutely. And I think that's where all of this stuff is, right? It always starts off with good intentions, but there again, we have to realize the moment that we give that up to the government, when we're like, hey, somebody's got to do something, and that somebody is always the government, they're going to step in and we're going to pay for it later. And every time that you give up, every time they step in, we're giving up freedom. That's really what it comes down to. Being a first-generation American from Cuban parents, I can attest that government power should always and continuously be questioned. Absolutely, Dan. No problem with COVID for companies with less than 100 employees. That is currently true. And, that comes down to that's currently true as of OSHA, right? So, but those companies can still, I have a problem with that. I have a problem. We're getting to a point to where, even when it comes to Facebook and some of these other things where we're talking about constitutionality of different things, there's certain things that the government currently can't, or any company can't do. They can't, they can't, anything dealing with race, sex, religion, or anything else, or sexual orientation. Whereas, I also believe the rest of the Constitution, the rest of the Bill of Rights should apply as well, right? So they can't discriminate against those. Right now, it is completely constitutional that a private company, A, can fire you if you don't take a vaccine that they want you to take. I don't think that should be the case. B, if, for instance, they don't like the fact that you support the Second Amendment, they can also punish you, fire you, and we've seen some of that. So, I think all of the Bill of Rights should be protected, even in the private sector, to where they can't discriminate you in the private sector as well. But how did 100 become the magic number? That's a great question, John. I don't know. I do think, as far as I know, somebody can look this up, but I don't think OSHA regulates any companies under 100. But, as far as where they got the number, I don't know. And I'm sure your parents, yeah. W Tracks, good to see you, buddy. Easier to stay below 99 employees, so now companies will limit their growth to comply. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's just, when it comes down to it, folks, if government would just get out of the way uh, with all of these different things, it would be so much easier, right? Life would be so much better. And companies would grow, the country would grow. But again, the when we have the government getting its tentacles in every single thing, we're just ceding freedom, we're ceding liberty, we're just giving it up left and right. And at some point, there's not going to be anything left. Bobby, what's up? We're in dangerous times. Sadly, peaceful civil disobedience is mandatory. We definitely have to start pushing back. And there again, like a lot of folks out there, currently I work for a government contracted, I'm a full-time employee for a government contracting company. And again, you don't want to give up a certain amount of income and things like that, but it's just one of those things you got to walk with a fine line. There's no doubt about it. So Summer was running, I saw her on here somewhere earlier. She was running a med course for us today. Was anybody at the med course? Bobby, weren't you guys at the med course today? Let's talk 308s for a minute. All right, Matt, let's talk 308s for a minute. Looking to purchase 308 bolt gun, looking for something with exceptional accuracy. I don't mind paying for it either, honestly. Any recommendations? Ooh. Well, first of all, Matt, let's talk about 308. Is there a reason that you're married, or are you married to 308? And I say that here, I'll jump to this. I know this is kind of a wacky forum as far as going back and forth. I would almost, again, if you're married to 308, it's fine, and we'll talk about that. But if man, it's really hard to get away from 6.5 Creedmoor. 6.5 Creedmoor really does do everything that 308 does and much better. The other thing is that actually 6.5, honestly, you can find 308, in my opinion, is going the way of the dinosaur, or at least more like 30-06. And I love 308. It's a great, I have more guns in 308 than I do in 6.5. But I would highly recommend 6.5 because it has better ballistics. It just does everything the 308 does, but a lot better. But with that being said, regardless if we're talking about 308 or 6.5, there's lots of good options out there. You can go some of the custom options if it doesn't sound like you have a really, really tight budget you're willing to pay. I have a 6.5 Creedmoor Tika that I love as well. I was just looking to compliment it, to be honest. No, fair enough. I mean, Tika makes a great 308. I really have been impressed with Tika bolt guns. The Savage, I'll tell you, that's hard to beat. I haven't seen any issues with the 308. I haven't seen anybody having issues with the 308 in the Savage Elite Precision. So, when that gun works, it's hard to beat the value that gun brings to the table as far as features, as far as updated features, making sure you have that ARCA rail, that chassis completely adjustable stock that, it's just nice to have, where it's nice to get the gun in where you don't have to go and spend a bunch of money on additional accessories like an adjustable stock. The thing is good to go right out of the box, and it's just a great gun when it works. And I haven't heard of anybody having issues with the 308. In 308s, if you want to get a 308, those things are much more readily available on the market than 6.5. So Savage is hard to beat on that. And again, I always go back to, I'm a little hesitant to recommend them because they piss me off when they're continuing to put out. I still get emails and messages every single day. I won't say every single day, but definitely every week from people saying, hey, I just bought a Savage 6.5 and everything that you said was happening in your video is happening to me. Or I appreciate that you came up with a fix for that. I've contacted Savage, haven't heard anything back. I've heard a mix on Savage customer service. Some people are saying they're getting somebody on the phone and it's, they're taking care of their guns. Others, not so much. So Savage ticks me off a little bit about that, but that Savage Elite precision is hard to beat when it works well. Lots of 308 out. Yeah, no, absolutely, Eric. 308 definitely, that stayed around longer and was easier to find most of the time than 6.5, and I think we're going to continue to see that. Also, 308 is definitely an established round, so there's lots of reloading components and things like that out there. And of course, I think at this point, 6.5 is the same. Well, Matt, I'll tell you, they're even getting away from. They're looking at. I think they've already fielded 6.5 sniper weapons, and I can tell you right now, for the last 10 years, they've been looking to get away from 6.5. I'm sorry, getting away from 308. They've already started. They were using 300. I was shooting 301 mag in my sniper school, and that was in 2004. So it's been a minute, but yeah. So they've been trying hard to get away from 308 just because it's not the best round ballistically. All right, let's see, 300 AAC. I don't know, Dan. I have to do some more research. I've been looking at 300 AAC as well. There's also 308. 300 ARC. There's a couple different PRC. The one I've been looking at it pretty hard is the 6.5 PRC, and there's also 300 PRC. The 6.5 PRC is essentially the Magnum version of 6.5 Creed. So that'll push out a little bit further, but 300 will even go much further. So, but I haven't tested 300 AAC, and I haven't done a lot of research on it either. Yeah, Matt, no worries, man. Fair enough. W-Trax says 300 AAC is a suppressor round, and that's about it. Kind of like 300 black. That's not something I've looked into, but I think 6.5. If you are wanting something that's going to outperform 6.5, I think 6.5 PRC is probably the way to go. 6.5 PRC it's pushing that bullet over 3,000 feet per second. Yeah. Yeah, Mike. Hey, Mike, what's going on? Yeah, we're looking forward to Pistol 3 as well. Next weekend, that is definitely a go. W-Trax. Guys, I have a brother with a Grendel, and it's pretty amazing also, but expensive. Yeah, Grendel is definitely expensive. And I don't think it's ever quite caught on the way that they expected Grendel to. And so the demand is down. You'd think it wouldn't be so expensive, but it is what it is. No, Dan, I don't think you're paranoid at all. So, this also goes back into another thing that I've been really looking at. If you haven't noticed over the last few years, they've really been bringing up, the CDC has been getting involved in quote unquote gun control and the gun violence epidemic. There again, we're getting into some weird territory where the government's basically saying because it's a matter of public health, whatever else, they're coming up with the reason, and they're imposing their will. So, when you see the CDC starting to get involved into firearms, and again, I they're already calling this, a gun violence epidemic. I think they're going to continue to push that from that health aspect and starting to, again, it's just one more area, avenue of approach, if you will, that they're going to be pushing gun control. So, no, I think not being on a list is a good thing to be. Bobby Hoover, Ashley and I will be at Pistol 3 as well. Look forward to seeing you out there. Yeah, Dan. Well, first of all, you got to get your priorities right. You know, the thing about kids is you can make more of those. And while you might miss this tournament, this handgun session will come and go, and that's not good. Again, you can make more kids, more tournaments in the future. You got to get your priorities right and get you to handgun level 3. All right, what else we got? Any other questions, gripes, or complaints? All right, folks, if you guys got nothing else, hey, look, I really appreciate everybody that came on here. I have a brother, and his last name is no less. Yeah, 100% tracks. They go to the alphabet series. Yep, no, absolutely, and we're going to continue to see. Even now, right? So they're already coming after FFLs. We've seen that. That's a big concern of mine. We are obviously at FFL and Class 3 dealer. So I think we're going to start seeing more FFLs harassed by the Biden administration, even though that's not the source of illegal guns or the guns that are being used in crimes. But it's an easy straw man, right? So it is what it is. What is a good training 22 pistol for a 9-year-old? You know what? So there's a few of them out there. Was it like the Mark V? There's several good 22s out there that you can pick up. And again, if you do I'll tell you what, Bill Devs, if you email me, Gary@ParamountTactical.com, I'll send you some links to some ones that I recommend for a 9-year-old. The other thing that I would start them out on too is a rifle, right? It's much easier to teach gun safety with a rifle. It's easier to control. I'm a big proponent of starting everybody out on rifle with everything, whether it's you're an adult or anybody else. So if we start out with a rifle, it's easy to transition to a pistol, and rifle's a lot less scary for everybody involved, right? It's a lot easier for a kid to flag himself or you or anybody else or herself. So anyways, I will shoot me an email and I'll send you some links to some ones that I recommend. And again, I definitely recommend getting a 22 rifle as well. W Trax, stay safe. You as well, buddy. Yes, a Ruger Mark II is also a great pistol, a 22 pistol as well. Eric, I appreciate that. Yeah, man, you know, I'll tell you, there's nothing that is harder for me than to get in front of a camera and turn it on and make myself talk. It is difficult. I've gotten better at it. It's less, yeah. So anyways, that's work. You know, getting on the range is not work. Getting in front of a camera, getting down there and putting all that stuff together, learning audio, video, and all that other good stuff, that was work. And getting in front of that thing and talking to a blinking light is work. But no, I appreciate the encouragement on that, and I appreciate all the positive feedback we get on that, because that is something that if you know, the moment that I don't think it's working, I'm going to hang that up quick and fast. But it's been great for us, and we appreciate everybody's encouragement on that. Ruger 1022. Yep, you can't beat a good Ruger 1022 as far as a rifle, man. They just are some of the best rifles out there. 2245 is what I started out with. Yeah. Yeah, I think I actually have a Ruger 1022 that my grandfather got for my dad. I think it's from the 60s. Still works great. And we also have a couple of Ruger 1022s in the safe for the kids. I think I bought two. I think we have two newer ones. One from I bought from when my oldest son, who's 21 now, when he was I don't know, really young, and also one for Jackson Noah. Yeah, John, we are going to do a concealed carry 3. I definitely want to start doing some more advanced courses and putting those up there. There's a couple courses I've been working on. We're definitely going to be doing a LPVO, which is the low power variable optics course, where I want to start doing mid to kind of longer range on, well, all the way from short to longer range on the AR platform, and really stretch that thing out and show people different techniques of how to, again, that platform will easily shoot out 700 yards if you're using the right ammo, if you're using the right techniques. So we want to really enhance everybody's capabilities with that. That course, there's a couple other courses that I have in mind. I definitely want to start doing some more CQB courses beyond the tactical two-gun course that we offer. Some more advanced CQB courses. I think a lot of people, I've over the years been a little bit hesitant to offer CQB courses to just the general public, but I do think that there is a way that I can do that, feel good about it. And there's also, at the end of the day, you're also teaching people to use firearms. So there's a mental and a ethical quandary I have with some of that stuff, but we'll work through it. But I do want to do some more regardless. It's always a lot of fun. Yeah, Mike, we definitely have a broad enough base of folks that have gone through level 1s and 2s to where we can start doing a lot more of the advanced courses and really promoting those. First couple of years that we would offer those advanced courses, because again, I'm going to require you to come to those level. If you're coming to a level 3, you're going to our level 1 and 2 for safety reasons and a whole lot of other reasons as well, just so that we're all speaking the same language and all that other good stuff. But you got to build up a certain amount of folks before you can start filling up those more advanced courses. So I think we're at a point where we've kind of have reached that. And also I know once you start offering advanced courses, it also is a carrot out there that will allow you to, basically draws more people in as well. So that's part of that. Signed up for concealed carry 3. What's going on, Ed? How are you, buddy? You advised the trigger Credo was cheap. That's nice, but I think the Credo would have been a home run. Yeah, so Dan says, basically, Dan, who I advised to get the Trijicon Credo, went with the primary arms 1-6. And he says, nice, but the Credo would have been a home run. Yeah, folks, I have just learned, and Summer can tell you this, you're doing the right thing, right? You want to you want to get something good enough without feeling like you're spending extravagant money, and I get that. But I can tell you that almost always is going to cost you more money. And when it comes to optics, the thing is, if you get an optic that you're really happy with, you're going to keep that optic for a really long time. And every time that I've bought, the budget optics, or I've gotten the cheaper one, just to be a responsible adult, I end up getting rid of it. I end up selling it or whatever else, putting on a training gun, and then getting the one that I know is going to work. And then you're happy, and then you forget about optics for a long time. So it is what it is. Buy once, cry once. 100%. And when it comes to guns, again, what I say this, it's at the end of the day, your firearms are a life-saving critical device, right? That's what they are. And so, don't go cheap on them. I mean, you'll never. It's a good investment. It really is. Number one, almost everything firearm related holds its value pretty well. But on top of that, you have something that you have faith in. And I'll tell you, a lot of that, having that confidence in your equipment helps you shoot better too. I mean, shooting is 90% mental, right? So, and while buying gear doesn't improve skill, right, it does build confidence in your gear if you have good gear. And there is a certain amount of impact that having good gear or thinking you have good gear has an impact in your ability, right, in your performance. So there's kind of a chicken and egg thing going on there too. So buy once, cry once, 100%. Are you seeing any ammo price relief coming from your FFL side? Not really. You know, we're starting to see ammo prices go back up because ammo shortages are continuing to. I know we are working all angles. Summer and I, there's a couple different folks that we're working with that we're going to try to get some ammo out. So, you know, stay tuned. We're working hard. I'm sure a lot of other people are as well. Ammo is in high demand. And we're going to continue to try to get more and more ammo. Folks, if you haven't done so already, make sure you go to, and Dan can talk a little bit more to it, make sure you go to our website and sign up for our newsletter. We're not going to spam you. We only send it out about once every 3 months or so, unless there's something, you know, big event. So we really appreciate that. The other thing, folks, is, you know, without a doubt, this channel is growing faster than I thought it would. With that being said, we still are not YouTube's best friend, right? So they don't necessarily help us out when it comes to the algorithm because of the content that we have. I really appreciate it if you guys would go back through all of our videos, make sure you hit like, throw up a comment, just say a couple things on there. That really does play into that YouTube algorithm, and it helps push this. I mean, we have been completely crushed on Facebook and Instagram. We were growing at such a rate, and now literally we might get 2-3 new subscribers a month, and it's not because we're not pushing out content. And I 100% know it's because we're 100% channel banned. And people tell me all the time, you know, they're folks are like, hey, are you guys even still on Facebook? We have clients that have, you know, actually liked our page and everything else, and still, even when they're searching for it, still can't find it. So, you know, it is what it is. So anyways, anything that you guys can do to help us on the YouTube side, where they're not completely crushing us yet, so we'd appreciate it. So go through and like all our videos, comment on there. That helps a lot. You can, you know, subscribe once. You can like everything multiple times, and we appreciate that. You can actually hit this. If you hit this like on this 3 times on this video, it helps us. Stay with the odd numbers, not the even. No, Bobby, we appreciate it, man. We appreciate, you know, 90% of our business still is word of mouth, and we always appreciate that. Ed Stead, anybody heard of Guardian long range competition? They're coming to my backyard. Pig River Precision in a few weeks. No, Ed, I have not heard of those. I've never heard of this competition at all. So if you have any more information on that, send that to us. Pig River Precision in a few weeks. We're also always looking for additional long-range venues. So if anyone comes across any areas where we can be holding long-range courses that either give us additional distance and or just you know, some different terrain, or you know, something neat to shoot on, you know, we'd appreciate that. I'm always looking for long-range venues. We need those. Been mentioning you guys, my work friends, they love your bolt gun vids. Thanks, ES90, I appreciate that. 1,000-yard competition shoots. Yeah, no, Willie's saying he's Willie Everett's one of our Facebook admin, and he doesn't even get the notifications. So, you know, it is they're not our friends on Facebook. It is what it is. That's the that's the train we fight on. It is what it is. All right. So it's getting late here. It's what's almost 1 a.m. here. But I appreciate everybody that showed up. If you guys have any questions, you know, I'm just the email, or many of you even have my personal phone number. Email, text away. Feel free to give me a call or email me anytime. We will get back to you as quickly as possible. If you have recommendations for classes, courses, whatever else, throw that up there. If you have recommendations for videos, we always appreciate that. That's right, Mike. Stay armed, stay ready. It is I'm glad you like the live chat, man. I think these are fun too. And I think once we get some, again, I already got all the equipment. We're ready to go. As soon as I get back to the house, we'll start doing call-ins where you guys can participate in this as well. And I won't be just talking to a screen and some text. Yeah, man, we'd love to have you and your son out. There's nothing better in my mind when I see families come out to our training events. I know those are moments that are literally going to last forever in their mind. To the day that you die, you're going to remember those times going to the range with your kids and your family. And, you know, those kids are going to be talking about it to their grandkids, how their dad took them a firearms training event and how much fun they had. And, you know, those are just, again, those are lasting impressions. And we're always very honored to be part of that. All right, folks, I'm going to get off here. We really appreciate it. Again, make sure you go check out our website if you haven't done so already. If you haven't liked and subscribed all of our videos and subscribe to this YouTube channel, make sure you do that. We appreciate that. If you have any questions for me, send them. Call us, text, send smoke signals, whatever it is. But again, continue to start being mindful about staying independent of government, right? And hopefully the people that I'm talking to are not people that think that there is a government solution to every problem, because it's not, right? We need to make sure that we are being as independent as possible. And government doesn't help. They make things worse. It's just the way it is. Anyways, I appreciate everybody being here. Good talk. And yeah, I really like my credo. Heavy as shit, but the clarity and reticular. Yeah. All right. My ADD kicks in with some of these comments. You guys stay armed, stay ready, and we'll talk to you soon.